Good. All right. Good morning and hello. Good afternoon for those on the East Coast. I am Pamela Baker, and I am happy and super excited to welcome everyone to today's ATA presents Tech Talk, and we're going to focus in on harnessing AI in logistics from the boardroom to the break room. So from the rooter to the tutor and all things trucking. And I will be joined later by one of our grand innovators and affiliate of ours, Brad Little of Dynasty Pro. And we are super excited about today's agenda and bringing to you all AI and kind of breaking it down and helping us to understand how and what AI is, as well as how we can actually apply AI in the trucking and logistics industry. So quickly, from an agenda standpoint, as you see here on the screen, we'll do a welcome, opening remarks, and then we'll go right into the subject at hand today. Again, harnessing AI in logistics. So I wanted to, again, just say welcome to everyone and offer our president of ATA, African American Women Trucking Association, Nicole Ward, an opportunity to say hello to everyone. We're going to just talk about some really quick housekeeping. We'll do a Q&A towards the end of the call. So hold all those great questions. Make sure you put them in the chat. Hold those questions and we will get those addressed. We're going to mute everyone during the presentation. And if there's anything, problems or system problems where someone can't hear, please put that in the chat and we will try to monitor that and get you the assistance needed. All right. So let me turn it over to our illustrious president of ATA, African American Women Trucking Association, Miss Nicole Ward. Welcome, Nicole.
Oh my goodness, that was such an amazing introduction. We need like sound effects in the background. Well, thank you, Miss Pam. Thank you, thank you. That was an amazing welcoming. So here I am. Welcome everybody. I am so excited about Tech Talk today. I am Nicole Ward. I am your president and co-founder of African American Women Trucking Association. Who are we and what is our mission? Man, for those of you that are new and you're just joining ATA, welcome to the family. We are really on a mission to make sure that we're able to increase the representation of African American women, all right, and men, all right, and minorities in the trucking logistics space. So how are we doing that? We're making sure we're able to bring to you the education, the resources, the support that you need to develop yourself and your business, okay, in this industry. This is an industry that you cannot do this alone. It takes a village. It takes knowledge. It takes power, right? And so that's what ATA is. We're an umbrella of all of that. We have some dynamic leaders that aren't just talking that talk, that actually walk the logistics and trucking lifestyle. So what does that mean? That means that everything that they bring to you is basically experience and knowledge, especially for those of you that are new to trucking and logistics or trying to find your space or trying to reignite your fire, okay? Because that's a thing too, because burnout is real in trucking. And burnout, the only way to prevent those type of occurrences or challenges that take place in your business is to be prepared. And so that's what we are. That's what we are. We're here to make sure that you're ready. And what did they say? Man, if you get ready or stay ready, you don't have to get ready in the back, whatever it is. Get ready to stay. Y'all know that. Y'all know I'm Jamaican, so I'm gonna switch it up every time. But I say that to say, welcome to Tech Talk. Make sure you grab some nuggets. AI is a thing, right? And so we thank Ms. Pam. We thank you for being a dynamic leader and bringing us this amazing subject. We're excited to hear more from Brad, who has an amazing TMS and also one of our marketplace partners, right? So you're going to hear and learn a lot. Thank you to all the dynamic leaders, especially our vice president, Miss Lotta Love Hawkins, for making sure our community is engaged and our community has the education and the resources to continue on this journey called trucking and logistics. I thank you all for being here and have an amazing, amazing session.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nicole, for the energy and for the opportunity. I think it's well positioned for our president to be able to empower us with knowledge of what's actually happening in our industry. And so this opportunity we do not take lightly. We're super excited about the opportunity to bring AI to you guys in this Tech Talk. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
Miss Pam, I just
Yes.
wanted to, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. There's somebody on this call that I really, really need to acknowledge because when it comes to AI and it comes to technology and everything that we're building now and in the future of AUTA, we have a new CTO, all right? We have a Chief Technology Officer, Miss Sheila,
Awesome.
and I hope that she is able to at least to say hello. We talk about technology, we're bringing technology to AUTA. And this is the young lady that's doing it. So we can all do a virtual round of applause or clap for our new CTO at AUTA. We thank you for all that you're bringing, Ms. Sheila. Thank you.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much. I truly appreciate it. I'm super excited about today, especially we're embarking on a new journey with AI here in the United States, and that just looking at and exploring this presentation, I can't wait to educate members here about how AI is going to really optimize the logistics industry as a whole. So I'm super excited and as well as very honored to be a part of this family. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sheila. Yes, we're super excited about the journey we're on in AUTA and how we're moving forward in excellence and again, empowering all of our members and all of our affiliates with information, knowledge, exposure, things that are tangible that we can take away in our everyday lives to make ourselves successful individually and collectively. So again, thank you, Nicole, and thank you, Sheila, for the opportunity to join us as a CTO. And we're looking forward for all of the technology expertise that you'll bring to the table as well. Thank you. All right. So with all that, what is AI? Artificial intelligence, right? We've all heard it. A lot of us today, I want to dispel a lot of myths. Is it a robot and it's going to take our jobs? No, it's not. AI has actually been around us forever. And what's happening now is just a new regeneration of the concept. And to that point, a new AI economy, if you will. So what I see it is an end-to-end combination of all of the various technologies that we've had at our hands in a tooling perspective is now available to us. And so it's actually exciting more than something that we need to avoid, right? I know anytime there's a technology introduction, some are leery, but today I want to empower us again with that information and that knowledge and how AI can benefit us in modern logistics. Looking at some of the industry things that we're facing in trucking and logistics, we've got shortages of skilled workers. We've got rising operational costs, fuel costs, right? Tariffs, things in regulatory that we've got to manage. And so it makes it quite tough on us to keep up with everything. Well, there's some new technology that we can introduce and actually utilize in our everyday life, and that's artificial intelligence. So looking here on the screen here, some of the examples of some of the larger companies that have utilized AI for the benefit of of efficiencies, growth, ways to collaborate within their company, all the things that I'm sure we've all experienced in our day-to-day lives. Walmart has AI-driven inventory management, which has helped them to really be able to provide efficiency, know what's on hand, and understand their inventory and their warehousing. Amazon, another one, and their ability to have AI-powered robots to help with some of the processing, some of those routine and everyday mundane tasks that we do. AI has the sufficiency to be able to step in to actually help us get our day started, help us to manage some of those things so that we don't spend most of our day doing task and widget type things. And now we can actually get to the strategic decision making that we need to do for our businesses. So that's some of the benefits of AI. Looking at all things in our industry, specific from a carrier perspective, generative AI. What is generative AI? Okay, we've got AI, artificial intelligence. What's generative AI? Generative AI is basically how we transform our operations and decision making. It takes the existing data and day-to-day operations that we do and literally makes sense of that. It takes that data and says, okay, here's how we can provide an efficiency. That's what generative AI does. So as it gets more data, it generates new information, hence generative AI. I love it. You guys are going to hear lots of definitions throughout the day. And when Brad joins me on the call, we're both going to be introducing you to lots of new concepts. And what I want to do is, while we're out and about, we can be the experts on the ground with AI technology advising everybody, right? Okay. So artificial intelligence, AI, we talked about that. Let's get into some more definitions. Hyperautomation. What is hyperautomation? Okay, Pam, you're nerding out. Yes, I am. Hyperautomation. What this does is it literally takes all of the technologies that we've already been utilizing, chatbots, things in our data, all those things combined together are now able to hyper generate more information for us so we get quicker decision making. If you've ever used, how can you use AI? If you're drafting an email to a group of people and you're not sure really how to start, you can jump over to ChatGPT, Copilot, Perplexity, any of your favorite AI tools, and literally type that information into the selection bar and say, using natural language, just like you and I are speaking, be able to type that in and get a response back. You can say, provide me an example of a memo to a group of people in the transportation industry where we're featuring the latest truck parking technology. And it will provide you within seconds an example of a memo that you can utilize, not verbatim, but utilize to provoke thought. I use that often, ChatGPT, Copilot. I actually go between a lot of the different AI tools just for that reason, to understand and provoke a different thought, provoke different examples. So those are things that you can do in your everyday life to utilize AI for your benefit. Machine learning. All that is algorithms. You'll hear this word algorithms today too. Bradley's going to introduce you to algorithms and talk about that in his product when he presents. So algorithms, that's basically how we train our data sets, how we, again, once that information is generated, how we literally train the computer to produce and process that information. Let's see, I'll stop nerding out. I talked about natural language, NLP. That's how we actually speak. So basically what it's doing is teaching the computer a human interaction, how humans speak. So you'll notice sometimes AI may return, I'm not real sure, or a not so sure or definite answer. That's because it's being generated, it's being taught our natural language in the things that we're looking for. So imagine this, Google search was the tool, search engine, one of the search engines being others that we've used, Ask Jeeves, I'm dating myself, that we've used in the past. And it was really, really great. It was really, really revolutionary. But what it did is it provided us almost a one-dimensional type response. It provided us just the base definition. Say if you were looking to the meaning of a word, you would type that into Google search and it would provide you a Wikipedia or a definition of that particular word. What AI has now done is taken that to the next level and provided you examples, companies, tools, all the various resources that relate to that particular question that you were asking. This is the new economy of AI. This is the tools that we have at our hand to help us in our everyday, as I mentioned, that will help us make better decision making, make quicker decision making, make sense of our data, see where we have inefficiencies within our supply chain or within our operations, and help us to identify the tools that we can actually implement to help us make things more efficient, move faster. And we know within the trucking industry, everybody's asking for, shippers are asking for things to be delivered faster. People want their goods and services delivered much faster. And we are under constant pressure from, again, regulatory and all the various changes that are happening in our economy. So having AI at our hand is a huge advantage and can really help us to move forward in a positive way, quicker, faster, and more efficiently. All right. So with that said, I want to introduce us to Bradley Little. He is the owner of Dynamics Pro. And Brad comes to us from Memphis, Tennessee, and he has several tools. Brad has actually taken, much like myself with our product here at Kara, Brad has actually taken Dynamics Pro and applied TMS for shippers in an AI fashion, as well as his latest invention. He's actually taken trucking, parking, and applied AI algorithms, and actually can produce within minutes generated parking opportunities for all truckers. So we are super excited to have Brad join us today and just kind of go through some of those areas where you can benefit from AI, and how we have right here in our audience some examples of AI being utilized in the trucking industry. Welcome, Brad.
Thank you, Pam. Just one small tiny correction for anybody so they don't get confused if they search it. It's Dynasty Pro, but we good to go on that one. I think that we're having arguably the most important conversation of our lifetime, and that's with technology and robotics. And the best way to frame it and put it into context is, I'm 35. I grew up watching movies like The Terminator, The Matrix, and I, Robot. And there's always, if you look at those movies, there's always this split, right? And you've got this ethical technology that's helping people and assisting people. And then you have like this non-ethical side where they're using technology to outperform, out execute, and dominate people and basically render people useless. And I think that's what people are mostly afraid of. And so there's always that divide. And you touched on it earlier that, not all technology or not all technology is going to be used to, replace people's jobs. Because I know it's going to come down to jobs. Nobody wants to aid with technology that's going to take your job away. So, with that being said, I definitely want to say congratulations to everybody because we could take one small step forward because the autonomous trucks are not going to hit the road this year if you're on the trucking side. So, that's great news because small carriers, 3PLs, drivers, not necessarily drivers, but owner operators and small carriers, you're not going to have to compete with self-driving trucks. So, we're going to have some peace there. So on to some of these algorithms. I think one of the most critical areas that are going to be efficient in maintaining the driver and the way we currently do things in trucking, to kind of keep that at bay is tools and AI that will help improve driver experience on the road and driver execution. Because through those two metrics is what keeps the supply chain resilient, right? You like, for example, you have route optimization, right? Route optimization optimizes routes, which directly improves the driver's experience on the road, 1 mile at a time, thereby creating the visibility to customers and the rest of the supply chain that the execution is going according to plan and everyone's getting their transit times and everybody gets what they want, everybody's happy, right? So the stronger that efficiency is, the more efficient our supply chain, the more resilient our supply chain, and you could definitely continue to maintain that argument. So Dynasty Pro and Trucker Buddy, these are tools that I created to help give AI to the people that can help you make more money and do what you do best better. And that's what this one is about.
Absolutely, yes. And I completely agree with you. One of the key components of route optimization, I'm sure you, having driven trucks, can attest to, there's unexpected construction, there's unexpected traffic jam, there's just unexpected things that happen, right? And utilizing AI to help with better routing, as well as in advance to those things, making sure that we provide the most efficiency. UPS was one of those examples of turning left. Turning left, making all left turns, provided a level of efficiency for their company. And they're actually one of the number one, if not the number one, or the top, if not the number one, companies who have really executed AI quite well to provide and find various opportunities for efficiency throughout optimization within their company. So yes, I completely agree with you. Let's see. When we think about AI, Brad, what are some of those best practices you can think of for trucking companies when it comes to AI?
Again, the key metric that stands out the most, let's apply the 80-20 rule. 80% of, and technology is no exception. 80% of this data is garbage, it's trash, right? So you want to focus on the 20% that matters and most efficient for you. Again, I'm going to point out route optimization. As we've seen, that's the one data metric that directly contributes to the top and the bottom line, right? And that's what, as we saw in the PowerPoint earlier, UPS, which is the largest trucking company in the nation, are seeing tremendous savings directly impacting the bottom line. And that's what it's about, bottom line and jobs, right? And drivers are more happy. So it's improved driver experience, improved driver execution, thereby making it a healthier system, transportation system. So I say that's the key metric to focus on. And for us here at Dynasty Pro and with Trucker Buddy is to expand on that. because we now clearly see by listening and talking to people, we now clearly see there's another problem that's impeding the driver's experience and driver execution, and that's truck parking. So that's where we're at now, and we're about to take that and get that out the way, especially for our truckload carriers. LTL not so much, because they mostly have terminals. And if you're a truckload carrier like a mega carrier who has the infrastructure for to support your own parking, of course we're not talking to those guys, but the majority of the industry is owner operators, small carriers that don't have the resources to build that infrastructure. So they're suffering.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's key to identify that audience of owner operators, to your point, or small carriers that really can't afford to dish out the money for, providing that level of infrastructure, but to have a technology at their disposal directly for the owner operator. That's impactful. That's absolutely impactful. And one of those key areas of trucking that we can focus in on. So kudos to you and Dynasty Pro. So
Absolutely.
what are your thoughts around AI, freight, warehousing? Where is AI impactful there?
As far as warehouses and shipper, well, I'm seeing it. What we're seeing, and it's gonna probably not rub a lot of people the right way, but it should motivate you to probably pick up some AI tools on this trucking side. We're actually seeing quite the opposite in the warehouses as far as inventory management and order processing, right? Where we're seeing that combine AI with robotics, and it is absolutely amazing the results, and it's outperforming and doing a lot of tasks that people used to do. And I think and I don't know if you're a fan of Obama or not, but he spoke about this during his presidency, that the day and the time were coming, and we're here now.
Right.
There's shippers like Niagara, where the warehouse is fully automated, and it's amazing to see AI and robotics work together to, as far as like picking orders, what used to be a package handler or a forklift driver, and they're loading trucks and unloading trucks, so it's
Right.
actually it's very amazing. Um, uh, but we fortunate on the trucking side that we're able to keep trucking. So, but that's actually you see Amazon's warehouse too. I have to say that's remarkable as a driver, having gone there before, to see how automated the check-in process, their app is it's impeccable. And then you get to the warehouse and how everything is so automated. It's amazing.
And great. Yeah, I agree with you. And that's really important when it comes to, again, owner operators, 3PLs, those that are brokers, dispatchers, to really be able to understand that shippers that they're working with have that level of automation, and from different components of the trucking industry to be able to have that technology. Literally, again, robots. Why? Because less injury of stacking various things in warehouses. It just makes sense. And again, we can evolve then our employees into more strategic types of roles where they can make that impact at a company. So yeah, I completely agree with you. That's revolutionary. And Amazon has just blown us out of the water with their model. It's absolutely one for adoption for sure. Absolutely. All right. So let's see, we're moving forward. What types of efficiencies from a safety perspective are you seeing with AI, just in your experience?
Safety wise,
Yeah.
we can expand on route optimization there as well. Um, More information and being able to communicate updates to drivers. And the large language models are great because you can communicate with drivers that don't necessarily speak English, right?
Right.
So it could mitigate that risk. But I'm gonna focus again on the most important thing at hand right now, and that's truck parking. Um, drivers, some of these stats are staggering, right? And I think the most staggering one is the 11 drivers to one parking spot, which creates hyper competition. And to frame it in the context, it's like you're more likely to find a parking spot on Black Friday at a busy shopping center than you are to find a legal parking spot as a trucker any day of the week. And imagine what happens on Black Friday. People get into fights, arguments, car accidents, trying to get a spot.
Right.
This is every day in trucking for drivers to find a spot. And to point out one that's not being talked about, the most competitive driver is shutting their truck down early, reducing their own productivity in order to secure a spot. So, my message to drivers right now is, you got to get rid of the idea that free parking is a thing. Like, there is no such thing as free parking anymore.
Right.
Because again, the most competitive driver is shutting their truck down early with drive time left on their clock in order to secure that parking spot. And if you do the math on that, you know, 3 hours of drive time, 5 days a week is 15 hours. You take the California speed limit, which is 55 miles an hour, and you'll get somewhere around 825 miles per week that this driver is sacrificing on his productivity in order to secure that parking spot. So that spot is not free, and it's going to accumulate. And what does that lead to? Driver retention down the drain, driver
Right.
attitude down the drain. Because they're not making money, they're not getting that productivity. On top of the predatory towing, that's pissing drivers off. So there's a lot of things out there that are affecting the driver experience. And when the drivers have a very negative experience, it's going to show in their execution, which is ultimately going to be safety. People are going to do crazier things. You've got the theft rings that are, I know in Houston, they're snatching essential components out of trucks within 15 minutes, and insurance claims are going out that way. So you could greatly, we believe that using this tool and helping drivers find parking instead of just throw their hands up, because when a driver has a negative experience and they throw their hands up,
Right.
that's $1 million liability. And that's
Right.
happening every day all over the country.
So I guess what I'm hearing you saying is it's not just a safety, it's hitting their pockets. It's every day, it's personal, it's affecting their health. It affects in so many different ways of not being able to find a parking space equated to Black Friday. And we all know when we're shopping, there are no parking spaces. And to know that drivers are actually having this level of experience every single day. And we have an opportunity with an AI tool to be able to help relieve some of that pressure. But to your point, it's a mindset shift. We've got to shift our mindset from thinking that we'll have the free parking to thinking that if we invest in ourselves, we'll save ourselves time, money, efficiency as an owner operator, right? So this is where I was talking from the boardroom to the break room. This is end to end. It affects everyone. It affects the carrier. It affects that CEO. It affects those operational workers. It also affects the owner operator, that driver in his day to day. This is amazing. This is amazing. So really quickly, let's move forward and think about and just talk really briefly about what the future kind of holds. And I want to hear more about the the trucker buddy parking aspect and the AI technology that you've implemented there. Let's go ahead and talk about the future. What does that look like?
Man, the future is vast. When we embrace something as an industry, it goes full steam ahead. And I see this route optimization, generative AI, and just AI as a whole expanding into, man, I would say almost every aspect of uh, growth and development from a driver's perspective up to being a owner operator to being a small fleet owner, especially in that area, right? Because
Mhm.
I don't want to speak to the mega carriers because of course they've got AI coming to them. Now they're gonna use it as well. The predictive stuff and the
Right.
automation, the hyper automation is gonna benefit them the most. But I'm speaking mainly, our focus is mainly on small, medium-sized carriers that, and so to be able to build your business and I guess you would say future proof it, right? To where you're
Mhm.
using this technology to fill in those gaps in areas that you never have been able to do before, where you're not going to have the CFO or the CTO or these, C-suite executives to kind of help run your operation when you first getting started off the ground and you just got one truck to three trucks, and you're trying to get
Right.
three trucks to 10 trucks, or a small shipper who's trying to get their logistics operation up and off the ground, or a 3PL who's trying to get up and off the ground. AI is going to be so useful. I mean, you've even seen to where they've got it to where the AI could communicate with other AIs, right? So we've got Trucker Buddy, of course. And so the day will come where, Trucker Buddy and a 3PL will be able to communicate. And you could call a number, let's say hypothetically, you could call a number and talk to Trucker Buddy. Or if you have a agent and they could talk, Trucker Buddy would be talking with your 3PL agent, and
Right.
the AI will be able to negotiate a rate, you know?
Exactly. And that's not too far off.
It's
That's
not too
actually
far
not too
off.
far off,
They'll
right?
be able to negotiate
Exactly.
a rate. So we're seeing a lot go down. So I would say definitely this is the most important conversation for the next 5 to 10 years. And you're going to see a totally different logistics industry or totally different supply chain.
I completely agree. I mean, you hit it out the park there. I mean, it's so advanced and so fast that literally, I mean, I thought about when you said that the Google numbers, you literally can get an AI number and call up whatever AI you want in the
Yeah.
comfort of your home and literally get everything that you need within seconds.
Mhm.
That right there is crazy, but it's not too far away. It's not too
And I think
far-fetched either.
I think it offers a lot of freedom and independence as well. Financial freedom and independence like you've never seen before if you're utilizing it in the right way. You know.
Right. I agree. I did a speech on the power of telematics and applying these AI algorithms and these AI thoughts around that in your telematics as an owner operator. Now you've just empowered yourself with information. You understand your fuel costs. You understand what the messages are, fault codes, things like that. How can you then take that information yourself, apply an AI algorithm, and actually get ahead of and save yourself on maintenance costs, save yourself on fuel costs, get ahead of the game and try to control some of those things so that your pocketbook isn't affected at the end of the week, right? And to your point, great segue into the Trucker Buddy parking AI tool. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Let's expound a little bit more on that and your tool and your offering and what you have for the audience.
Okay, so the more technical side, because I did the practical side. So let's look at the technical side. There's the algorithm. And what we do is, of course, we're going to pull your location. So it's two different versions. The comprehensive version is for the TMS user. Like, so if you have a fleet of trucks and y'all are using the TMS, then you'll have the more comprehensive version that will include document management, real-time tracking, load management as well. And our AI and algorithms are designed to expand on route optimization, meaning we don't get into predicting or trying to figure out the future or what's going to happen tomorrow. Our algorithms are structured and designed to be with you 1 mile at a time because we understand the reality of how volatile transportation really is. And the most effective way to deal with a load in transit is to not get ahead of it. So 1 mile at a time, our AI is with you 1 mile at a time, from load creation, from tender to delivery, and document receipt. So end to end. And so what we're seeing is we could get the load creation, right? Dispatch the driver. That communication is there. We've gotten to document management for bill of ladings, lumper receipts to all parties, brokers, shippers, back office, and drivers as well. We got ETAs, load tracking, uh, real-time visibility, and then boom, boom, we hit the stumbling block when it comes to truck parking. So we created an algorithm since we already have the driver's hours of service. This is the more comprehensive side. So the algorithm already knows all of that about the load and the driver. And it's just taking that information and say, okay, let's create an algorithm where Trucker Buddy can find the parking solutions for the pickup, the driver's current location, and the delivery location. So you can plan ahead. And with the more comprehensive version, it'll take the driver's hours of service, the 70-hour clock, the 14-hour clock, all clocks, and you can plan and schedule out and make your reservations at any locations near the pickup, near the delivery, and around the driver's current location. Uh, and for the tool that's specifically for the driver, that's not a TMS user, it'll just pull your current location, right? So you'll allow it to pull your location. It'll feed it through the algorithm, and a lot of people compare it to Trucker Path, but it's like Trucker Path, but it's totally different. It's really a first of its kind, because in Trucker Path and these other apps like Trucker Path, Truck Parking Club, you're gonna have to you're the one manually sorting through all of the locations. But with the algorithm that we have with the AI and generative AI, we're using Trucker Buddy to sort through all of the locations for you. You could go through those locations 100 times faster and just bring you back, optimized results based on, hours of service and compliance and where you're located. It take all that heavy duty stuff off of you, including the trip planning too. So it does the trip planning. You say, hey, I got 4 hours of drive time. And say, okay, you got 4 hours of drive time. You could probably make it, 240 miles or 200 miles. Here are all the options that you can feasibly make it to, thereby increasing productivity, right? So let's go back to that driver who threw the hands up, said, you know what, I got to park right here. I know I got 3 hours on my clock, but I'm not going to maximize productivity. I'm going to sacrifice that in the name of this parking spot. Now the most competitive driver who adopts Trucker Buddy can sit there and just, hey, boom, 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 push a button. You tell Trucker Buddy how much drive time you got. I got it. After a 12-hour day, who wants to do math? Nobody. So
Right.
let Trucker Buddy do the math. Push the button. You tell Trucker Buddy you got 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever. It will maximize your clock for you, and then find those options that you could feasibly make it to on your route, and then you just set it up that way. And so, Trucker Buddy is relatively cheap. It's like 50 cents a day, right? And it's like $15 a month, which is like 50 cents a day. So for 50 cents a day and maybe $20 for a parking spot, your your productivity is right back where it needed to be.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you're making your money, and that's going to directly impact your bottom line. And hey, that improves driver retention. That keeps drivers in the industry, because
Hmm.
if they're not making money, man, that delivery job at Domino's and Uber and Amazon Flex gonna start sounding pretty competitive.
And to that point, and I'm glad you brought that up, Brad. And we're gonna break here in a second. Q&A is coming up, but I wanted to just quickly, you talked about 50 cent a day, parking space, maybe 20. What would be the alternative of not, and drivers just sticking with trying to get the free parking space? Are there any dangers that come associated with that?
Absolutely. I mean, the list is abundant. So, like we said, Black Friday parking every day of the week, you know, that's horrible, especially in more congested, and it could be worse in more congested areas up in the Northeast where you're talking about like New Jersey and Baltimore.
Right. New
Yeah,
York, yes.
certain areas up there is even worse. Or you go into, Chicago markets. So there's different markets where that dynamic, some markets are more competitive than others, so you got that. And like I said, when the most competitive driver is shutting down their clock early and losing productivity, that's the grand prize. That's the best case scenario, right? Is that you sacrifice your own money and hurt your own bottom line to get a free parking spot, which is the most expensive parking spot, if you ask me. Uh, and then it's downhill from there. You could be parking on the shoulder and some wake up and somebody hit your truck, right? Or you
Right.
parked outside of the lines and somebody hit your truck and they're gone, and you're in an unauthorized parking position, right? So I see drivers argue all the time. Accidents happen. Predatory tone. That boot is ridiculous. The boot, I feel like, is one of the things that could catch you off
I was
guard,
just
and it
going to
only
say that.
catches you one time, and it is the worst experience for a driver, a company. It disrupts the entire supply chain, and it catches everyone off guard. Nobody sees it coming when the company comes to put a boot on there for unauthorized parking, and that's going to disrupt everyone. Like you said, from the break room to the boardroom,
Yes.
they're gonna feel that one.
Absolutely. And I would say it's not worth the risk, right? You've just caused yourself unnecessary expense. Again, out of, in the words of my grandmother, your pocketbook, where you could have saved that money and continued, because now if you get a boot, you've just shut down your ability as an owner operator to actually do your job and make a living,
And then
right?
you late
So
delivery.
yeah,
You have to put yourself in you miss your delivery, and God forbid you got a Costco load, right? Because Costco gonna push you out 2 or 3 days, and now you're in a drop trailer situation. This is even worse for owner operators because you're in a drop trailer situation and probably need a loadout. Even if you pay to get your truck back, you're gonna need a loadout and somewhere to drop your trailer. Which guess what? You end up paying for parking anyway.
right. And to Janique in the chat here, she said 600 plus. Yeah, exactly. And
Unexpected. You don't see.
that's
Would you
crazy.
rather do a budget that you can control that expense,
Right.
or take the risk and good luck? I mean, I've heard of in Houston, they got a ring out that's stealing one boxes off of Freightliners, and that's just you come in, you turn the key, and it just truck just ain't gonna go nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Lost revenue from that too, so the risk is through the roof.
Right. So yes, I can't say thank you enough, Brad. This has been monumental. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing real life AI application directly resulting in positive impact on the trucking and logistics industry, and showcasing how AI really truly is an approachable tool for us to gain efficiency, growth, collaboration, and really be able to make an impact on our day-to-day lives, from the boardroom to the break room. All
Absolutely.
right, so now we are going to stop and actually move into Q&A. So if there is anyone that wants to come off mute and or raise your hand and ask either myself or Brad any questions about AI or any questions about Trucker Buddy parking, please feel free. Tamika, go ahead.
Hi, how everyone doing?
Good.
Well,
I have a question for Brad. How well, is the Trucker Buddy app, is that available for all 52 states?
yeah, it covers North America.
Okay. So my other question is, um, how would you advertise that as being a dispatcher for your drivers?
So with AI, again, there's two versions. The more
Oh.
comprehensive version of Trucker Buddy that operates inside of the TMS. So that's more so So let's say two different trucker buddies. There's trucker buddy in the TMS for the back office for the fleet owners and for the company, and then there's a trucker buddy tool specifically designed for drivers and owner operators, where you don't have to be a part of this person's DOT number in order to use it. You could be it's any driver anywhere. Whereas trucker buddy inside the TMS, it has to be affiliated with your particular DOT number and other information that's sensitive. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, it do.
Yeah, it's a
And
privacy.
one more. Okay, got you. So, what's my other question? I forgot what my other question was. Oh, I'm so sorry.
If I could jump in real quick, I don't know if you guys can hear me. So there is a trial code in the chat. So make sure you utilize it so you can try it out for yourself. And Brad can explain too. There's a trial available for dispatchers. So check that out. It might answer a couple of the questions once you actually get your hands on and be able to apply, the tool for yourself.
Great. And Tamika, feel free to raise your hand again if it comes back to you.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am. Thank you.
oh, absolutely. And thank you, Lotta, for chiming in. I was going to mention that from the chat. Any other questions on the AI or for Brad or I? And if you want, if you guys wouldn't mind just including in the chat some of the other tech talk type topics that you would be interested in, that would be great as well. We would love to be able to continue the series and bring you guys exactly what you're looking for from a trucking perspective, from a technical trucking perspective. So feel free to use the chat and let us know, keep us posted. All right, I will put on the screen really quickly, both myself and Brad's information, for you guys to get in touch with us.
Hi there, Miss Pam. I'm sorry to interrupt. This is Sheila.
Sure,
I
no
think Miss
problem.
Taylor has her hand up. I think she might have a question.
Oh, yes, go ahead, Jonique. My apologies.
Hey there, everyone. No questions. I'm just want to just great information. Just want to give feedback and takeaways of great information for this. And as a driver myself, cross country driver myself, I can definitely attest to, with this having this app here for drivers and owner operators, the importance of being able to get a good night's sleep at night without having to be in a place where you got to be constantly waking up every 2 hours because you're first of all not sure of your surroundings of safety, and then also getting towed and booted. Brad, this is awesome with this app here from a driver's perspective and a safety perspective, because that is so important that we get great sleep out there so we can be productive the next day to be able to make money. Because if you're not getting that rest, you're still interfering with your money at the end of the day because you didn't get sleep to be able to drive those 11 more hours for the next day. So I just love the information, even in regards to how the AI works in regards to the warehouses and the shippers from a driver's perspective. That's awesome to have new technology coming about to make things faster to avoid all the extra time that's been spent at these dock doors for shipping and receiving time. So I just love how all this stuff comes into play with trucking as well. So just wanted to kudos to you both, Pam and Brad.
Oh, thank you so much, Johnny. We truly appreciate that feedback. And that's our goal with the Tech Talk, to provide all the latest technology and awareness for our trucking community here. My trucking family, I love us. So want to make sure that everything that we're providing for you guys is empowering and informational, things that we can walk away with.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna double down on that point about driver sleep. It's so important because when
Yes.
you talk about safety, you know, not getting enough sleep, even broken sleep, it's not just about sleep. It's not having that sleep broken by somebody banging on your door or somebody ramming into your truck, and that contributes. That's a heavy indicator of how that driver is going to execute and perform hey, honestly, for the rest of their week, because you got a
Right.
70-hour clock, they got a long way to go. So you want to make sure that those drivers are somewhere getting some good sleep.
Absolutely. Yeah. Driver fatigue is a huge proponent. It's a real thing. It's right up there, honestly, with drug and alcohol, because if you're sleep deprived, you cannot function, you cannot concentrate. And being on the road, that's a huge no-no. And it's a perfect storm if you're out there sleepy and driving. So yes, finding a safe parking space to what Janique mentioned for I know our ladies is highly important and for anyone. So Trucker Buddy being available is a phenomenal tool. So, all right. Let's see. Doesn't look like we have any more questions in the chat. And we are right at 11:58, 12:58 Eastern. And so I think that will wrap us up for today. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. Myself, Pamela Baker with Kara, and Bradley Little with Dynasty Pro. As I was looking at the screen. Oh my gosh, my sincerest apology. Bradley Little with Dynasty Pro, TMS, Trucker Buddy TMS, and Trucker Buddy Parking.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
That's a lot. We'll get there though. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Dynasty
We'll
Pro
get
is the
there.
TMS. The Trucker Buddy is the AI tool. So Trucker
Absolutely.
Buddy is what everybody's pretty much gonna know. And we'll get, if we have another tech talk, we'll get into that where we could talk about like vertical agents and what the different formats and what people are seeing and how it's structured. And that'll make a little bit more sense.
Absolutely. Well, I look forward to it. More to come. You'll see more announcements on our next Tech Talk. And if I don't see you all or talk to you, please have a safe and productive weekend and take care, trucking family. We will talk soon. Bye-bye for now.
Hold on real quick, Pam, because I don't. Okay, did everyone leave already? Sorry, I'm driving, so I